For this video, we're going to talk about converting between standard form and scientific notation. Scientific notation is written with a value between 1 and 10 times a power of 10. That'll make more sense in a little bit. That being said, you need to have a single non-zero digit in front of your decimal place when you're writing correct scientific notation. And in order to do that, you need to move the decimal in order to determine what your exponent is going to be on your power of 10. If you have to move the decimal to the right, it's going to give you a negative exponent, and if you need to move the decimal to the left, it's going to give you a positive exponent. Another way of looking at it is if your original value in standard form is less than 1, then you're going to have a negative exponent. If your standard form value is greater than 10, then you're going to have a positive exponent. So let's look at a few examples. For the first one, the original problem was 1,203,000. As you can see, there was no decimal in the original problem, so I can add 1 to the end, far right, without changing the value of it. So now, once I add this decimal at the end here, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places that I'm going to have to move it to the left in order for it to be written in correct scientific notation. So since I moved it to the left 6 places, I'm going to have a positive exponent. So my final scientific notation is going to be 1.203 times 10. This is that times 10 to a power, or to an exponent, of 6. For my second example, there's already a decimal in the problem, so I don't need to add one, I just need to move it. So again, if I have 468.3, I can take this decimal and move it 2 places to the left, and when I move it 2 to the left, it gives me a positive exponent of 2, so I rewrite the scientific notation to 4.683 times 10 to the second power. For decimals, or values that are less than 1, you can tell because there's not a value other than 0 in front of my decimal. This is going to indicate a negative exponent. So when I have to move my decimal 1, 2, 3 places to the right, that's going to give me, like I said, my negative exponent, and it's going to be 4.36 times 10 to the negative third. Remember, you only want one non-zero digit in front of your decimal place. These are the trickier ones. If we look at my last 2 examples, these are given in scientific notation, and they want you to rewrite them in standard form. So for example 4, you can see we had 3.6 times 10 to the 4th. Since I have a positive exponent, that means my standard form is going to be greater than 10. In order for this to happen, you have to move the decimal to the right that many places. So if I start with my 3.6, I'm going to take this decimal and move it 1, 2, 3, 4 places, and I need to fill in all of those little loops with zeros. So your final answer would be 36,000. And for example 5, since your exponent is negative, that means you're going to have a value less than 1. In order to change 5 into a value less than 1, you would have to move the decimal to the left. Again, you're moving it 3 places because that's what my exponent tells me. So if I start off by writing 5.78, I'm now going to take this decimal and move it 1, 2, 3 places to the right, replace it, and make sure you put a 0 out in front so that you can tell where your new decimal is located. So when I rewrite this in standard form, I'm going to get 0.00578.